Former 6 times Australian Ironman champion Trevor Hendy and John Harker.
Yes, will it be an Eckstein double? Who knows? Meredith will fly in this first leg with the ski first. Dean Mercer, his best leg will be held till last. The swim, Zane Holmes, well, he's good at everything. Daniel Shea, great board paddler. Luke Richmond's been thereabouts for years. Jeremy Cotter, down south, they think he can win. Drew Cancross, the whippet. Phil Clayton, not a lot of training under Phil's belt, but probably a chance as well. Nathan Smith. He's done something that no one's been able to do. 3 New South Wales championships. Riddington couldn't do it. Chapman couldn't do it. Allen couldn't do it.
Yes, and I think the most interesting thing about this race is the field is jam-packed full of the freshest talent in Ironman racing, but the conditions are going to test these guys like you wouldn't believe. If we've got a ski leg you need to survive in and put yourself in a prominent position, a board leg where you need to really put yourself in a prominent position, then a swim leg where anything can happen. There's so much water moving out in front of these guys right now, and I can't wait for that leg to see what's going to happen.
Dean Mercer was the one that had the, tried to have the quick start a moment ago with the break that you saw. They're in the starter's hands again. Is there a better alley in terms of the ski leg?
Provided they don't get too hit on the right side by the sucky shore breaks, that's where it's going to get them across the back bank a little bit better. So I would pick the right side, but it's really unpredictable.
Yeah, well, that depends on what happens right now as they make their way towards this shore break. There's a reasonable wave beginning to form right in front of some of those fellas at the southern end, and you'll see it now as they're greeting that white water. Jeremy Cotter's got a great start too from the Queenscliff Club. He's got an absolute flyer on that black ski.
And way over on the left, Shannon Eckstein as well. So Jeremy Cotter, Shannon Eckstein, I think also Zane Holmes on that side. There we go, that's Shannon at the bottom of the screen in that multi-green ski.
Yeah, the multi-orangey green looking thing.
I think you'll find 3 over from him is Zane Holmes, yes he is. And the other side is Luke Richmond. There's our 3, set up straight away from the start.
And Dean Mercer sitting in the middle too, I think. You'll find, yes, he is. And the black ski of Jeremy Cotter's in a bit of trouble. Now, one of the Mooloolaba competitors is in strife, having to go all the way back to the beach. I don't know whether Pete Calhoun can identify who that is for us. Pete, can you see him?
Mate, I'm heading back down there now. It's a bit far. I'll have an update shortly.
No worries. It's Eckstein, Meredith, Holmes from Richmond. That's the order at the moment as they make their way towards Jimmy Walker out there.
Zane Holmes definitely in front. I think he looks superb all weekend and all season. But Dino Mercer right next to him, and then the world ski champion on the red and blue ski, Stephen Meredith, right in there as well. But Luke Richmond's just going to turn in second, and Dino Mercer, they all look pretty comfortable, and they'll take anything, these guys, on these fast-moving skis as they turn ahead for sure.
I've got to agree with Jimmy there, and Zane Holmes looks sensational. Him and Shannon Eckstein, while Shannon's under a little bit of an injury cloud, were side by side going out, and Zane just put the pedal to the metal, took the lead and said, I'm going to go out in front here. Now look where he is because of that decision. Shannon stuck on the outside, of course. Steve Meredith and Dean Mercer being pulled through by the momentum that Zane Holmes has created for himself.
Are you surprised at the 2-time winner, Dean Mercer? I mean, we're going back to the 80s when he won.
Not at all surprised at Dean. He'll do this for as long as he wants. He's such a talent. He's got so much determination about him, and he could really pull this off today.
Great swimmer. That's the thing. His best leg is going to be the one that they'll finish on.
He is a great swimmer.
3 of them are about to pull down this wave. We could have 4 of them on it. 3 are likely to join our leader. Well, no, Dean Mercer's going to cut across. Well, he'll get on it in the end. Okay, there's Dean on screen now.
That's Dino coming down the face of this wave. He's got someone next to him, and that's a great little wave to get through. It's going to crumble behind, which will take a bit of the power out of it when it gets into the shore break.
Luke Richmond's next to him.
Luke Richmond. So these are the guys we've been talking about for the last 2 days that are really going to show up. Zane Holmes also on that wave, and Steve Meredith as well. That's Luke Richmond on screen now, a fantastic swimmer. Have a look at these 4 guys. You wouldn't put Steve Meredith in the class of these other 3 as a swimmer. Steve Meredith, former world ski champion, you would expect him to be there, but these other 3 are going to go on with it.
And how quick will they be across the sand? The little legs of Dino Mercer won't carry him as quickly as Richmond and Holmes, you wouldn't think. It's Richmond that's hit the lead. Dean Mercer is in second place. Richmond's rounding it now. Just behind Dean Mercer is Zane Holmes. Meredith will begin to struggle as they go into the board and swim. Eckstein is just hitting the beach now as well, so he's close enough as we go down to Pete.
Glenn Anderson was the man who lost his ski earlier. He's all but out of it. Eckstein now coming round to pick up his board. Now, Nathan Smith, who won the open board not an hour ago, is about to pick up his board. He's got a little bit of work to do, but certainly not out of it, as our leaders head out across that inner gutter.
Jeremy Cotter dropped back after that great early start, so he's in probably in about 9th or 10th position, so a long way back for him. But again, good board paddler, good swimmer.
That was him running with Phil Clayton there from now with the era cap on. And you can see on this, someone's chosen to go left here, and the rest of that field has gone to the right. That's Luke Richmond still leading.
That's Dean Mercer that's gone left. He's on a blue board. I know that we're not close in on him at this stage, but I think that's Dean Mercer.
No, that's Daniel Shade, former world board paddling champion. He's come out on the left side, and he's going to get a run all the way out. Look at this.
Okay, yep.
These guys are going to get cleaned up on this side. Daniel Shade will even get around this white water.
And Dean's on the blue board at the other end. Daniel Shade went in 8th position. So Dean Mercer's at the other end on the other blue board. Daniel Shade has gone, taken the more direct route, and he went in 8th. That's an extraordinary performance.
That's changed everything. You can see it on that shot there. Looking at 4th, that's Shannon Exton on the right at the bottom side. Then further out is Dean Mercer. Further out from that is Zane Holmes. And over on this side is Daniel Shade. So I'm not sure if Luke Richmond is amongst that group, whether he's got hit by a few.
But Zane Holmes is going to finish better on the can. You look at Daniel Shade is having to start to edge his way south towards Zane Holmes now. Zane Holmes, big lead. Daniel Shade, and then Dean Mercer. Now this will give them a chance to get a bit closer.
Interesting what just happened then. Zane Holmes rolled that wave before it really gathered its momentum. The other guys actually got knocked back further by it, so it didn't draw him closer to them. It actually gave him a little bit of chance to get away.
As we go out to the water, and Jimmy Walker.
Zane Holmes has pulled away by about 2 lengths over Daniel Shade. But what you're going to see, since this race started, the swell has picked up through the gutter, and they're making the waves carry all the way to shore. He is going to turn the can. He's about 2-3 board lengths from the can. He's going to turn around there, and you're going to watch him extend this lead. Daniel Shade's got a handy lead from 3rd, but I can tell you the way Zane Holmes looks at the moment as he just lays down, he looks superb. He'll get round this 2nd can, and he'll open up a huge lead.
Okay, we'll let you stay with the back markers as they come around, Jimmy, and give us a view on some of those other competitors, some of the bigger names, where they are back in the field. And we'll stay with Zane Holmes at the moment. And look at this wave beginning to form. Now, this is going to be pretty interesting. This will give him a really good run.
Zane Holmes stroking down this one. This is perfect. You couldn't set up a better finish for yourself. He's a fantastic swimmer. He'll get over the front of this. Here we go. He's over the front.
Yeah, you turn the last can and up she pops. Thank you very much. I'll take that. Away I go.
We don't want to put the mocker on him, but that really is a blessed race at that point in time. He's done the work. He decided early to go out after it. Now he's got a wave to back him up. There's a few more coming from behind. We can't quite see it. Zane Holmes sits there. Great shot. But look at this coming from behind.
If he wins it, that's the turning point, that wave, if he wins it. But here's Daniel Shade. Is there anyone else on that wave with Daniel? I think there is.
Dean Mercer.
It's Dean Mercer. So the blue boards of Daniel Shade and Dean Mercer almost coming to collision there a moment ago. But
and then 3 more on the wave behind that.
Zane Holmes, though, he's got a 2-wave lead. He's up and running. He's a long, long way in front. But again, the other guy's going to be running when Zane starts to swim.
That's right. Also, he's going to have to choose where he goes in. He's not going to chase somebody else down. He's going to have to make the decision. I think you'll find Zane will come around this gate. The right decision is to go through this gate like he does right now and turn straight across to the right and keep going. Take the shortest way across the bank. He'll cross these competitors as they come up. Take the shortest line and he'll go out in front of the other turning flag, so on the wrong side of the course, and then hopefully use the little bit of current that's actually coming back from south to north on the way out.
And you get that extra bank. He's going to duck dive through the gutter, and he's going to get up and stand and run in a moment.
There's Shannon Eckstein.
Shannon Eckstein a long way behind. Wade Krieger, the South Africans there. Now, already up and running once more on that other bank, up and waiting, is our leader, Zane Holmes. So it's Holmes from Shade, Mercer, Eckstein, Meredith, and Krieger.
Holmes appears to have gone far enough across. This is a good decision. He'll get across the shore break here, and you can just see him come up under this wave. There he is on the left-hand side of the screen. As he gets through the shore break, there's a little bit of where that dirty water is up to the top right, where that rushes out to sea. That'll give him a little bit of a slingshot across the bank. He's in a perfect spot and still looking great.
Yeah, and he's due.
Oh, he's absolutely due. Like, besides the fact that he's worked so hard for so long, it's been a very sentimental and emotional year for Zane Holmes and the Holmes family, and they really are a family of life-saving. It'd be a very popular winner here today.
We go down the beach with Pete.
Very popular win, wouldn't it be? And his sister's looking on. How's he looking?
Oh, look, he's looking great. He's opened up a nice lead, obviously, and he's going into one of his strongest legs. I mean, he's got solid all 3 legs, so he's just got to hope that no one comes through on a wave on him now, which has seemed to happen in the past to him, and this one's always eluded him, so, you know, he deserves to win.
It would mean so much for him and indeed the family this year, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's been aiming all year for this, working hard, and it's something that he's been looking for the last 4 or 5 years, so hopefully he can do it from here.
Well, her fingers and toes are crossed, John.
Yeah, there's a very emotional sister. They lost their dad this year, and well, it'll be wonderful to see. And the one thing that has happened while you were doing that interview is that Phil Clayton, being back in the field, has taken the odds to it. He's the one that's gone straight out. The rest have all gone south. Clayton thought to himself, I'm going to have to take a risk, and he's just going to try and swim through this sweep.
I predicted Phil for an outside chance for a medal because he's likely to do something like that. So this could pay off. You know, you're talking about the Holmes family. Kirsty, while she was chatting there, didn't mention her father. They haven't mentioned him much at all. But really, we know how much this means to these guys because it really was a family thing. They did this sport. They've always been involved so deeply in it, and would be a special occasion for him to come through.
Daniel Shade is hanging on to second at the moment. Dean Mercer went in on his heels. We'll try and get a little look at where Dino is. He's
Have
not
a look
far.
at that lead.
Yeah. Dean's on the right of screen, not that far behind. So it's Holmes from Shade, Mercer, and there's one other. Is that may well be Luke Richmond or Shannon. I don't know. Shannon Eckstein. But it's a very big lead.
I think you'll find that's Luke Richmond sitting there. Shannon Eckstein just in back behind those guys. Luke came through on the board, and that's Dean Mercer we're seeing now. We talk a lot about different strokes and techniques. That's Dean looking, what I would say, much more erratic, but he really does good stuff under the water. He pulls his hands in such a way that his body moves through the water very well, but he's really choppy. He chops around. Then come back and have a look at Zane Holmes next to Jimmy Walker, and Zane looks fantastic.
Jimmy.
Zane Holmes looking superb. I know his sister just said, hope no one catches a wave on him. I tell you, no one's catching a wave on him. This is Holmes gold. But you look behind and you see the bulldog, the tough thrashing arms of Dino Mercer. He is still trying to pass Daniel Shea. I tell you what, I think he'll give him a rough up round the boys and tell him I haven't raced more than one Ironman race than you, and he'll take over him. But nobody is going to take it away from Zane Holmes. He is looking superb. He hasn't lifted his rating too much, but back it's now the string of the boys nearly for the lead, and Dino Mercer is in second over Daniel Shea with Luke Richmond.
Well, Mother Ocean could still take it away from him there. Look, it's not quite the string of the boys. He's going to get to the turning point now, and you know, end of the day, if he swims into that shallows and the others manage to pull away from behind, anything could happen. It's a big lead. He's due for a win. Dean Mercer's not far away.
Kane Eckstein actually won the under-19 Ironman not so long ago with a similar lead coming around the cans, and had to swim all the way through to the shore break before he picked one up. Was lucky enough that no one else picked that one on the back.
So Dean's second. You've got still on his heels Daniel Shade, and then Luke Richmond in fourth position at the moment. So that's second, third, and well, just out of shot at the moment, fourth that we had on screen there as we go back to the wide shot, and our leader begins to get himself into this wave area.
Well, this is the make and break. There's a few swells coming through behind. Zane is way in on the bank. He's in on the bank. He's in the right spot now.
Now, this wave could stand up for him. This is the vital wave. This is the one that may just stand up for him. He's looking under his arms now. Will it or not? He's going to not be able to get over that. He's just still in too deep a water. There's another wave behind him. Well, he's swimming into some deep water, Trevor.
It's almost too hard to talk about, Harks. I tell you what, put yourself in that position where you know now Mother Nature's got to be on your side. Something's got to come where you are, because the other guys are now on the bank. So he swam across the bank with nothing. The first wave that comes through now, if it's decent size, they'll be on it. He needs nothing to come through till he gets to the shore break.
Because there is this double break, and you've just said he needs nothing, and here's one forming. Will they be able to get down that? There's also
Someone's
one for the leader.
at the back.
No, they're not going to get down it.
Here
yes,
comes
they
Luke
are.
Richmond.
Luke Richmond is on a wave, but so is Zane Holmes. Luke Richmond is on a wave, but so is Zane Holmes. Now, has Zane Holmes held it or not? Will he pop out? Zane Holmes has
This wave's
held it.
going to catch up. This wave is going to catch up. It's left him right next to him.
They're going to double up. It's going to be a sprint up the beach. Luke Richmond, Zane Holmes. Who will it be? Holmes has led for so long. Richmond's now got his nose in front. Zane Holmes is gritting his teeth. He's standing up and saying, I can still win this. He's running past Richmond. Look at him go. Zane Holmes has deserved it, there's no doubt about it. Luke Richmond, he's due too, but it's still a run up the beach. Holmes is looking over his shoulder. Another little glance. His sister's cheering. He's got enough. He's home. Zane Holmes is the Ironman champion of Australia. What a win. Richmond came at him, got in front. Zane Holmes said, this one's mine.
That is unbelievable. Congratulations, Zane Holmes. I wouldn't expect it to be 10 seconds before the tears start running.
And let's go down to Pete.
It's happened.
And in third place, Daniel Shade coming over the line as Zane Holmes both tries to control the emotions and also his heart rate. To be able to pick it up after finding a man catch him on a wave and just grit his teeth and nut that out. It's a super win, Pete.
It certainly is, mate, and you led it from the front, but you could never let your guard down. But finally, Zane Holmes, it's happened.
I've been waiting for this moment for so long, and sometimes I just never thought it would eventuate, and I just can't believe it. It's just such a relief.
It's a relief. The monkey's off the back. Close your eyes for a minute. 20 years ago, your old man took you down to the beach of the Nippers. And 20 years on, your dreams come true.
Yeah, I mean, my dad's been my handler all through my career and passed away last November, and he's basically been my driving force this year. My support from my family has just been overwhelming, and from my girlfriend Kai. And I wasn't only doing it for me today, I was doing it for all my family and my dad.
So something came from above coming in to get you home.
Well, Luke came from behind and ran over me. And I just thought, oh no, can't be happening. I knew I had a big lead and just missed a couple of waves, and I thought, please don't let this happen.
Well, it didn't. You are now the 2004 Open Ironman champion of Australia, and you will be forever. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
What came was something from within, the heart of a champion. The quintessential Australian sport has produced an absolute fairy tale today, as only it can. That was a thrill just to be here to see it. And the moment that he stood up, Richmond had gone past him and he said, no, this isn't happening. This is not going to happen to me again. I don't care how good you can run, Luke. I'm going to outrun you. I'm going to outwage you. I'm going to outsprint you. And I'm going to get to that line before you.
That is such an emotional moment. Two things happened. Zane's just broken through, but the heart of his father was in that race as well today. And I'll tell you what's left a tear in my eye. That was just such a beautiful experience to see that happen, and to know he was going to have trouble talking about that. That is such a special thing for
He's almost crying there.
Yeah, all the way up the line. When he knew, that was amazing.
Just a super moment in a super sport.
Congratulations to Zane Holmes. He's the 2004 Australian Open Ironman champion. We'll be back to wrap up after this.